That was eventful, if I do say so myself. A lot going on there. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Postgame Show. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey. Danielle's behind the Mac. Craig calling in from Mullett shortly. I'll address the elephant in the room. No, Petey and I did not plan to match in our Logan Cooley shirts.
Just tell him.
I swear we did not.
It was an accident.
Complete
a happy accident.
I mean, he had a goal and an assist today, so
kind of
worked out.
How do you not?
PHNXlocker.com.
Yep.
Get your shirt.
Get your shirt. This was a I want to say it was a good game for the Coyotes because there were points in this game. They were tied after 2 periods to one of the best teams in the National Hockey. Not one of right now the best team
leading
in the National Hockey League,
yeah.
And they were tied 3-3 after 2. And I think that just shows their ability to stick with teams, and most importantly, it shows their ability to skate with teams. And I think that they were able to keep up with the speed of this New York Rangers team. Ultimately, the Rangers are just better. And their better players were better. We just said Vinny Trocheck was a +6, Panarin was a +5. Their better players were better, and I think they just kind of wore down the Coyotes. I think there was the same bright spots we've said over the last 2 days. I think you saw again today. I think you saw the young players for the Coyotes step forward again. And I think you're seeing really good things. I think Doan had another good game. Cooley had another good game. I didn't notice Guenther as much today as I had in the past, but you talked about Maccelli with another big game. So I think their young players are progressing and continuing to develop and playing in important games. I know it's not a playoff game, but you're playing a team that's preparing for a Stanley Cup run, and you're competing against them. You made it 6-5 at one point. It looked like you were battling back into this one, and then it just kind of slipped away. But for a Coyote fan, there were a lot of positives today, so we're not going to walk away too disappointed.
No, and honestly, until they made the decision to pull Vejmelka with 2:30 to go, it was a 1-goal game.
Yeah,
it was.
I just question the timing of the pull. I mean, 2.5. I know.
We saw Nashville pull with what?
Yeah,
like
6
minutes the other
so,
night?
I mean, it
Crazy.
depends on the lead, and I guess if you're struggling to get offense, you want to pull it when you can. It's unfortunate that the puck had come out of the offensive zone so quickly, right after they pulled the goaltender. And let's face it, and we're going to call it the way we see it. It's unfortunate the goalie was pulled at that time, but I've had a lot of praise for Michael Kesselring. Another one of those young guys. I think he's going to be a good defenseman in this league. He has offensive upside, and he's learning to defend better. He's a big guy, but this is a learning moment for Michael Kesselring. When you have the puck on your stick in those situations, when the goalie is pulled and you're battling for a goal, it's very important that you make a very good next play. And if you don't have that clear play, then you keep continuing to backpedal into your own end. Ultimately, if he ends up behind his own net, that's fine. You can use your net as a guard and you can come up from there. But unfortunately, he tries the backhand sauce through the middle of the ice against the best team in the league. Game over.
Not really gonna work.
Not ideal.
All right. Well, there's a lot to get to, obviously, but let's start with the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Shots on goal, 32-32. Look at that. Crazy. There's actually a few interesting stats on here. Even shots on goal. Coyotes were 1 for 3 on the power play. Rangers had no power plays. The Coyotes did not take any penalties, which PD told me before the game that one of his big keys would have been do not get on the penalty kill against the New York Rangers. Block shots, the Coyotes had 55, Rangers had 45.
That's actually face-off percentage. I messed up.
Oh.
That one's on me. It should be face-off.
Not block shots?
Yeah, it should be face-offs.
Okay, face-offs. Okay, and shot attempts, 59 for the Coyotes, 51 for the Rangers. Interesting note about the Coyotes not having any penalties in that game is that they have not done that since, when was it, February?
It was
against
February,
the
and they've done it
Canadiens?
4 times this season. And I had to go throw on my tinfoil hat because, as we know here at PHNX, we do love conspiracy theories.
We do,
right?
Yep.
So it was a very big milestone for a particular player today.
Yes.
With goaltender Jonathan Quick set the all-time record for wins by an American-born goaltender. Big deal.
Congrats to Jonathan Quick, honestly. That's unreal.
Sorry, Jonathan, we're not big celebrators of your milestones here because 2012. I don't think I need to say anything else.
That's true.
Danielle, could you please bring up the numbers again? Shots on goal, 32-32. What number does Jonathan Quick wear?
I'm guessing 32.
Where's 32?
Wow.
So I think the league stopped counting, and I think there's probably more. But I think the league said, you know what? I think we should make the shots on goal 32-32 to honor Jonathan Quick tonight. And thus, the official scorekeeper stopped keeping track. Are we in? No?
Oh, I like it.
That was my tinfoil.
I like it. Somebody in the Discord had a really good point of view on this game, which was that the Coyotes scored 5 goals on the winningest U.S.-born goaltender. So I think you can look at that as a positive. Love the perspective, love the positivity, and I think there is a lot to be positive about because yes, the final score was 8-5. 2 of those, of course, were empty net goals. Yes. Definitely wasn't Karel Vejmelka's best performance by any means, but it wasn't 8 goals against him per se. But the Coyotes still scored 5 goals against a really talented New York Rangers team. And I think that's impressive. The second period, once again, the second period for the Coyotes has really been their strongest period as of late. Just going down 1-0 after 1, that's a manageable deficit to come back from. And just like the last 2 games, that second period, you see the Coyotes really step up and have good second periods.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of positives to draw from this. One, we talked about how close they were in the score, but there were a lot of things they did well early. And I think the first goal of the game, and if you were lucky enough to be a diehard and sit in on the diehard chat, you saw what happened on the first goal. And I know that, I don't think Nick Bjugstad defended the middle of the ice through the neutral zone very well, and I think that led to goal 1. Other than that, this team did some things they needed to do right. And we talked about the penalties. You take a lot of penalties against the Rangers because they're fast and they have the puck a lot. So for the Coyotes not taking penalties against that team, I think that's a really good sign for that team. So that's one. I think they did that well. I thought they were able to have offensive zone time and have puck in the offensive zone below the blue line. They had moments and stretches where they were able to maintain offensive zone time for a very long period of time and get shots on goal. I thought that was another real positive. I do say that when the Rangers put their foot on the gas, the Rangers are good. Yeah, that's a really good hockey team. And when Shesterkin is between the pipes, and Quick's had a great year, outstanding year, but when Shesterkin's playing his best, man, this team doesn't have many holes. And to say that, and the Coyotes were able to make this game a 6-5 game at one point, shows
very
that
close to the end.
Their ability to create offense. Now, and this is something you've said against Coyotes teams over the past decade, is they have been unable to score. You can go all the way back to Dave Tippett teams in the mid 2010s. Is those teams couldn't score. They had to defend to win. Now you're seeing an offense. Again, you've talked about 20 goal scorers. Crouse is in there, and Cooley gets another one. Cooley's inching towards that 20-goal mark. So you've got a team that can add offense. And you didn't feel, even at 6-5, you felt, maybe? And that's a good, exciting feeling for a Coyote fan, knowing, hey, there's some offense coming. And there's some bright spots offensively that, hey, maybe we can actually score some goals in the years to come. Yeah,
and especially in the third period, too, because New York comes back all of a sudden it's a 6-3 game. You're thinking, oh, like this one is completely over. But it wasn't, because all of a sudden Lawson Crouse and Logan Cooley score back to back, and it's a 1-goal game. So you got to give them credit for not quitting. Honestly, with just 8 games to go against the New York Rangers, who were the first team this season to clinch a playoff spot, who are I would say are one of the Stanley Cup favorites. Honestly, a solid performance all around. And it's not like at this point the Coyotes don't really have much to play for, except for, individual performances, acting as spoiler, and working together as a team. But let's highlight some of those performances, Petey. And we have to talk about the man of the week, Josh Doan. Mm-hmm. Because Josh Doan, he just continues to get points. He had an assist tonight. He now has 5 points in his first 3 games in the National Hockey League. And he became the first player in Coyotes franchise history to register points in his first 3 games, which is a crazy little statistic, but extremely impressive.
But again, he's doing all the little things right. And it's not just that he gets an assist. If not for Braden Schneider's stick he gets a goal too.
Yeah,
Like that, he's
so close.
Unbelievable how he's able to get to the inside just above the blue paint, gets a scoring chance like that. Braden Schneider's stick on it. He had the top left corner open. He's a fun player to watch. He gets on pucks quickly. When he's the first forechecker, he gets on and separates the defenseman from the puck. He chips the puck when he's supposed to. He's a fun guy to watch. And honestly, points in all three of his first 3 NHL games. So the question comes back in. I mean, does he go down? And right now, I think the answer obviously is no, because they have nobody else. There's nobody on that roster they got 20 guys up right now. So there's nobody jumping in to take his spot. And again, unless Barrett Hayton comes back off the injured reserve list, I don't see Josh Doan going down before the end of the season.
Yeah, and he deserves to be here. Absolutely. Another guy who had a really great game last game and had kind of a bit of a milestone tonight, Clayton Keller scored his 32nd of the season. He is on an 8-game point streak, 13 games in that 8-game span, and another fun little Coyotes nugget. Keller has now tied Jeremy Roenick for the most points over a 2-season stretch, which for 154, which Jeremy Roenick did in 2001. So you know that he's going to beat that in the next
he's going to get another point.
Yeah, exactly. In the next 8 games.
The way he's playing.
So
yeah,
congrats to Clayton Keller. Couple of little history tidbits for you there.
When Schmaltz and Keller had the puck inside the offensive blue line, they were a scoring threat. When they had it in the defensive zone, the Rangers might have said the same thing.
Yeah, the minuses keep stacking.
The minuses for Schmaltz and Keller continue to stack up.
But Schmaltz keeps quietly picking up assists and points. Like he's having,
and he almost scores another one late in this one.
The point, he's had so many points in March.
Yeah, he has. He's one of the league leaders in the month of March, and he's been sneaky good offensively. Those two are just the one thing about it though is their ability to find each other in the offensive zone. It's the passes they make, but the chemistry they have amongst 8 and 9 is just phenomenal. Like they can pass through 3-4 sticks. They can, pass behind themselves. They have eyes in the back of their head, and they know where each other is. The familiarity and the chemistry that those two have is elite, and the numbers they're putting up reflects that.
Well, 2 guys who are developing chemistry, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Doan and Matias Maccelli. Since Josh Doan arrived in Arizona, or to the Coyotes, that is, Matias Maccelli has a goal in each of the games that Josh Doan has played. He's on a 3-game goal streak, scored his 14th of the season tonight. Danielle also let us know that his parents are in town, so you love to hear that as well. Matias Maccelli ends the night with a goal and an assist, and because he kicked things off, Matias Maccelli is tonight's Desert Dog in him. Matias Maccelli has a Desert Dog in him. And because Danielle captured some amazing photos of him as well, he gets to be represented, and he's on our thumbnail today as well. So check that out. But congrats to Matias Maccelli. And there is something a little bit there between him and Doan.
Yeah, it is. And you can see since Doan's been here, what he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 points, 4 points in 3 games for Maccelli as well, in goals in all 3. It's going to be hard to break up that line for sure. And they're providing offense. I think one of the things, can I do this now? I guess I'll do this now. One of the things with Maccelli playing with Doan, I like their combination right there. McBain has been driving the net, showed a few bits of speed today. The problem I have with the Coyotes lines right now is that I don't know who they used to defend.
Yeah.
Because when they score the goal, and I forgot if it was which goal was it? And they got the next face-off. They gave up a goal almost immediately.
Oh yeah, there were too many goals to keep track.
They put out their 4th line, which was Kerfoot, O'Brien, and Carcone. And right off the face-off, come down the shoot and score. And in our members-only discard, someone said, "Well, why would they put them out?" And I started thinking about it. Who else are they going to put out? Like when you needed to get a defensive stop a few weeks ago, you'd put out Bjugstad, Crouse, and Maccelli. But now Bjugstad's playing with Schmaltz and Keller. I hate to tell it, but that's not a defensive line. And then you look at the second line with Cooley, Guenther, and Crouse. Well, that sure as hell ain't a defensive line either, although I will say Guenther can defend better than most. And then you got Doan, Maccelli, and McBain. I don't know if I feel safe with them jumping out there against Panarin either. So one of the issues with the way the lines are, you're getting that secondary scoring, but you're not getting that defending. And you don't have somebody you can throw out in a defensive zone faceoff to save the day. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there as something to look at, how they manage their lines over the next 8 or 9 games. 8 or 9? 8? 8.
8 games to go. And by the way, if you are not a diehard, you missed out on a first intermission Petey's Puck Talk where Petey broke down the first goal against. He broke down things to look for, and those things unfolded. Yep. It was really cool. One of the things Petey said is someone asked, how do you score against quick? He said, anywhere from the top of the circle and in over his shoulder. Well, what happens immediately? It was unbelievable. So what a treat for the diehards to have a former NHL coach breaking things down in the intermission. One of the many perks to becoming a diehard, you get access to the Discord. We try and do weekly things like that. We also have diehard only content, such as Craig's mailbag coming tomorrow. That's for diehards only. You also get a free shirt or hat when you sign up. You can grab this sweet Logan Cooley tee. You get 20% off merch, 20% off on events. Plenty of reasons to become a diehard. Go phnx.com/diehard. And Petey, your anytime goal scorers continue to hit.
Yeah,
a little bit rougher today.
A little rougher day.
But you still hit some.
For my BetMGM Sportsbook app, I still hit some. But I'm going to stop giving. Every time I give advice, they don't hit, so I'm done. I'm selfish, and I'm going to do it to myself. Way to go, Lafreniere.
Oh, boy. But what a time to bet with the March Madness tournament going on for men and women's, MLB, NHL, NBA. It's all happening. So make sure when you bet, it's with the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Sign up, use the bonus code PHNX, place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app for at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if the bet loses. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Bonus bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
And then stop by Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because no one does it better, with an unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement that you won't find anywhere else in the desert. It's time for a staycation at a AAA 4-diamond property. Their state-of-the-art gaming floor with slot machines, blackjack tables, live table games, and Arizona's largest casino sportsbook. They have dining with all ranges, including their rooftop Shula's. Check out Shula's Steakhouse.
Perfect time for a rooftop.
Unbelievable right now. The weather's phenomenal. Perfect time for a staycation. Grab a little drink poolside before heading in for what? The entertainment at the showroom. I talk about it all the time. Yep. A show that
Ice Cube.
Buddy, live. Ice Cube
next
live.
Weekend. 75
feet away a week from tonight. Go get a room, grab yourself a few drinks, play a little bit of cards, and then go see Ice Cube. Entertainment in the showroom at Wild Horse Pass Casino is an intimate setting where the stage is never more than 75 feet from any seat. Head to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what next level is all about. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit play@gila.com for more details.
All right. Well, it's time to bring him in. So from Mullett Arena, it's Craig.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
With 2 more games at the Mullett, I want Mullett. This is the request to Danielle, the magic behind the Mac. Elevator Craig.
He does need to make a comeback.
Intro. With 2 games to go.
We'll do it.
Craig deserves an intro.
You know what? I will even take the elevator in the final 3 games here just to make you happy. So.
Wow, what a sacrifice.
I know.
Yeah.
Anything for the show, guys. Anything for the show.
Oh, Craig. Well, that was an interesting game, huh?
A whole lot of offense. The start of that third period was kind of ugly for the Coyotes. I like the way they battle back. I heard what you were saying too, Petey, about the lines, and I don't know what you do about it. You need more offense. What do you do? It is what it is. Honestly, who cares? HK.
You're absolutely right, though, right? Like that. Let them score.
8 games to go.
Let them have fun.
It was fun.
Feel good. Pad the stats when it doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Yeah, fine. Yeah. That's what I got, Leah. Was that it? Okay. See you guys.
Well, one thing I want to talk to you about, Craig, that Petey and I haven't had the chance to talk about yet is that Lawson Crouse finally scored tonight. His first goal in 20 games. Hadn't scored a goal since February 18th. I know you guys talked to him after. What did he have to say about it?
Well, you know Lawson Crouse. He's just casual about these things. He doesn't stew on it at all. No, it's the dead opposite of that. It's been eating the hell out of him. It's been driving him crazy because he's a competitor. And he said, I didn't change too much. Just, tried to get more reps. The hardest challenge was the mental side of it because guys are aware of it. They know, I mean, a 20 goal drought, a 20-game drought is a long time to go without a goal. And, earlier in the season, we're talking about this guy almost being a lock for 30 goals. And now here he is at 21 because he hasn't scored in a really long time. So, it was nice for him to get off the schneid. Obviously, they lost the game. So, how players are PD after games talking about themselves when they've just lost. You're not going to get a lot out of them. But it was pretty clear that it's been eating at him. So at least he's got this off of his chest.
Yeah, and it was a really good pass by Logan Cooley on the power play that leads to that goal. It almost, he throws it blindly through the middle. He knew he was there. It was a great pass. But for Logan Crouse, Jesus.
Wow.
For Lawson Crouse, though, Craig, maybe we say that when you're grabbing the stick that tight and you get that load off your shoulders, maybe now he can, with 8 games to go, maybe he can find that sweet spot again and get a couple more goals before the season wraps up and build that confidence going into the summer.
Yeah, he's not going to get to 30. It's outside chance, I guess, of getting to 25. But yeah, you want to feel good about yourself going into the offseason. I'm not a big believer in momentum from one season to the next, but you certainly don't want to go into the offseason on, whatever, a 30-game goalless drought. That's not going to help your confidence at all. So maybe this will be the start of something for him.
Craig, one thing I want to ask you about, the last 2 games at Mullett, especially that Tuesday night game against Columbus, it really felt like, for the first time in a while, like majority Coyotes fans, and the energy in the building was amazing.
Ooh.
Tonight, even on TV, you could see the number of New York Rangers fans. And listen, it's 81 degrees today in Arizona. Like, I would want to be here too, but you wrote on the rundown, MSG, Mullett Square Garden.
Yeah, hat tip to Patrick Brown for talking about that, but we were both looking around like, whoa. There were a lot of blue shirts here tonight, including that awesome Statue of Liberty jersey the alternate jersey that they had. I love that one. Listen, they're not all visiting. We know that there are a ton of New York transplants living in the Valley that haven't given up their allegiances. So that's a big part of it. But yeah, this was a Ranger crowd without a doubt. When you saw the hat trick late in the game, I think there were more hats for that than there were for Logan Cooley's hat trick. So not great, but it is what it is. New York is always a big draw when they come to Arizona.
Really quick, how crazy is it that we had back-to-back hat tricks? I know it wasn't all for the same team. Right after the last game, I said, how many times in a 41-game home season do you think you see a hat trick? Well, 2 back-to-back, and then 8 goals for one team in back-to-back games too. Crazy.
Yeah, because we were talking about bringing spare hats because, I'm not
some of those
away
hats are a little, they're pricey.
There were some nice hats in that pile.
Like the $50 hats.
Yeah, I think Ethan,
no doubt.
Ethan might have had a nice hat in that pile.
Joel definitely did.
And Logan Cooley's. Yeah. You know what, Craig, there's not much to say about this game. The Rangers are better. The Rangers didn't put the gas on until the third period. I think the Rangers played good enough to win. I don't think this is a game the Rangers are going to look back and go, oh my God, we battled so hard to get through this one. I just don't. And that's not really that's who the Rangers are. They've played a lot of very important games over the last few weeks, and this just isn't one of them. They're so good. They jump over the boards, and I think they can win games like this. And even when it was 3-3, all the Rangers have to do is just keep playing. I believe they're that good and that talented. This is a team to keep your eye on for the playoffs.
So I mentioned, you mentioned the Rangers in the situation there, and I went to their room tonight instead because I wanted to say hello to Phil Housley and Benoit Allaire, who was, of course, the goalie coach here a million years ago, PD, when you and I were still around.
Yeah.
They do a cool thing. The coaches do a cool thing when the players are coming off the ice. They're all standing there. It's almost like a receiving line where they're high-fiving all the players as they come off the ice. I like that in the tent in the Rangers room. But I did get a chance to talk to Phil briefly, and then of course the wonderful character that is Benoit Allaire, who once called me at the draft in Chicago in 2017 to ask if I could lay carpeting in his house because he thought he was calling a carpeting company. So.
PD had some good stories of his.
But we call them benoying Allaire because there's that French accent, and he just wanted to needle and upset and bother people. It was kind of a wonderful human being and an excellent goalie coach, but he could be a pain in the rear end at times.
That's the first part you mentioned there. And listen, he wouldn't confirm it, but I've been hearing a lot of whispers that Benny might be calling it quits after this season. When you think about the work that this guy has done in this league, he is one of the best goaltending coaches all time. You remember the guys that he worked with here, Nikolai Hobby-Bulin and, of course, Sean Burke resurrected his career and taught him how to be a goalie coach. Yeah. Then he goes to New York. I mean, I guess a lot of guys could have worked with Henrik Lundqvist and be okay with that pupil, but he's working with some pretty good goalies right now. And the guy, even though he didn't have a good performance in net tonight, Jonathan Quick is talking about how Benny has helped revive his career when everybody thought he was dead. So this guy is going to go down as truly one of the legends of goaltending coaches in this league. It was great to catch up with him. And I told him, if you are calling it quits after this season, you better answer my call because I'm doing a story on you. He's worth it. He's had an incredible career.
Well, we got to get him on the show. We'll need an interpreter, though. Bonjour, Benny, au revoir. Like
Leah and I can handle that.
Yeah, we've been to France.
Yeah, you guys have that. Yeah.
You know that Leah studied abroad.
I might have heard that. But you know what, Benoit, good for him. And I know if it is calling it quits, he better come into studio. But because he's got to live here. Where else are you going to live?
It's where all the retired
he had a
former
house here,
Coyotes
I think he
live.
might have sold it. But he's done a great job with this Ranger team. That's a good team. I've forgotten about Phil Housley. They didn't talk about him much on the bench tonight, but I know Phil Housley's they've got a hell of a run going there. And again, for the Coyotes fans walking away today, this is a good effort against a really good team.
Would you say Benny is a muscular guy, Petey?
No.
Okay. I don't know why this memory is in my head, but I remember being on a road trip a million years ago, and he's in the gym, and Rich Nairn walks in, and he looks at him and says, "Rich, I am a machine. I am a machine."
Yeah, I would no. I mean, again, wonderful man. Not sure I'd call him a machine in the weight room. Wouldn't be how I describe him. Now you, on the other hand, maybe.
I mean, Craig's hitting the Peloton hard.
So
he's chiseled at this point.
Yeah, it's good that he got the positive vibes of the Ranger room, but the Coyote room couldn't have been that bad tonight. Honestly, like it's the New York Rangers. You were around it. You sniffed around it. It was fine. You scored a bunch of goals.
Yeah, it's interesting. Though, talking to Andre afterward, he said we're right there. We want more now. Like the way we've been playing recently, we want more. So you understand that sentiment as well. But yeah, I agree with you. There are plenty of positives to take from this game, but I think you probably already mentioned the negatives.
Yes. One more non-game related note, Craig, before we let you go. And the NCAA men's hockey tournament underway. Only two Coyotes prospects still standing. Mikko Matikka.
A lot of pauses.
Oh, we're not gonna. We can just play the clip anytime we want. I mean, I feel like we should do that.
Mikko Matikka. Mikko Matikka.
There you go.
Matikka.
And a much easier name to say, Sam Lipkin. Quinnipiac plays BC tomorrow. Mikko Matikka's Denver beat Cornell today. So two Coyotes prospects still standing in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Sam Lipkin was somebody asked me about Sam Lipkin in the mailbag. I heard you mention it earlier. That will go live at 9 a.m. For diehards only. We hope, right, Leah? After the last one,
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of meat, and I should mention before I go here, I told you guys that Kat Coleman created this unbelievable graphic on the current arena situation, so people can understand what's going on with this government process. She replied she was in my mentions the other day, telling people, should we just tell them it's government, Craig? Because that's what it is.
Yes.
This isn't Coyotes, right? This is government. But then she goes and creates unsolicited. Thank you, Kat, so much for this unbelievable graphic. That will be in the mailbag, but you have to be a diehard to see it.
Absolutely. It's amazing.
Craig, it was so, and Craig sent this. Where did I see it today? Where did Craig send it to us?
He sent it in Slack.
I don't remember. I've got so many things. I don't know where I saw it, but I saw the graphic. And I'm like, there's no way, Craig. Like, there's no way. Like, Craig's a great writer and he can type, but he couldn't.
He's not a graphic designer.
Not a graphic designer. That was phenomenal. And not only was it beautiful, it explained everything. The timelines. Yes. What to wear. Like, get that up, Craig. So that'll be in the mailbag for diehards only.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Sorry to those of you who are not diehards. You don't get to see this.
I guess you gotta become one.
Just politics. That's it. Just tell them it's politics. And you want to see a beautiful timeline with beautiful, colorful explanation of every step of the arena process. Become a diehard.
All right, Craig, anything else before we get you out of here?
Nope. I am going to Four Peaks now, guy, because it's an early night and Luke Lipinski is beckoning me. We're going to go have a beer at Four Peaks. I'm going to have a wow.
Let's go.
Little Natty Hattie reunion. I don't think Jamie Eisner is showing up, but we'll have napkin.
Petey did not get the invite.
You must have lost my invite in the mail somewhere.
Oh, you're working, buddy. You're working.
Oh, okay.
You got a little more show left to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't go anyway.
Yeah, you probably would.
Although it sounded, I literally thought about it for just a second, and then I said, nah, it's out of my way. If I drove by it, maybe.
All right, guys.
Well,
have fun.
I don't know when the next practice is. I know they're practicing Tuesday. I don't know about Monday, but yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the office on Monday, huh?
What if they practice tomorrow? They don't. They don't. They send it out?
I already got the email.
Oh, I was hoping Craig had to go up there on a Sunday.
On Easter?
On Easter? That's not happening, buddy. I just say no.
Do you think Rick Tocchet would have cared if it was Easter?
No.
Oh,
he would not have cared.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
au revoir.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Au revoir. Bonsoir. Oh, thank you to Craig.
Craig's a carpeting guy now.
Well, I'm telling you, when Benoit Allaire was calling Craig, thinking he was the flooring place.
I know he was trying to call.
He was obviously trying to call Empire Today. Because Empire Today, they have the best customer service in the Valley. By the way, go on their Twitter account today. They actually tweeted a video of the beautiful wood flooring that they installed in our very offices here in our GOAT studio, Studio A. They did a phenomenal job. They were so meticulous about it. As soon as they finished, they gave us a call. How did everything go? Is there anything else we can do? Empire Today, they care about their work. They really want to make it as easy as possible for you. Not these big box stores. Nope. Not like these, you feel overwhelmed by a sale.
Yes, we've talked about my experience in the big box stores. I'm still not happy, and I tripped my toe. I stubbed my toe. Not very well done.
You need to call Empire next time.
I'm going to. I'm actually going to get Empire over just to see if they can fix it.
I'm sure they can. So if you want to redo your floors, I know it's a big undertaking, but now is a perfect time. It's spring cleaning, spring transformation. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive a $350 off discount when they use the promo code PHNX. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details.
And then go ahead and pick up your scratchers today with the Arizona Lottery because they've got that new game. We've been talking about it all spring, Arizona Adventure, and there's 3 ways to win. Scratch the tickets, beautiful tickets with iconic monuments from the state of Arizona. Second, go to geolocated locations throughout the state. There's 10 of them, from Tucson to Yuma to Flagstaff and everywhere in between. You just got to go there. You don't need to do anything but log in, say you're there, and you get registered to win all kinds of cash and travel prizes. Third, you can register your tickets online for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes. The Arizona Lottery is not just about playing games and winning prizes. It is also about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more information on how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million in cash and Arizona travel prizes.
All right. I want to make sure we get to some of these super chats. And by the way, if you're here watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the thumbs up on this video.
Somebody didn't like us.
I know. That's okay. All right. This first super chat.
It was Jonathan Quick.
It might have been.
Sorry, John.
Comes from John Whitaker, who said, new to the show, but not new to Coyotes hockey. The boys looked really good. Just too many breakdowns. A long way to go before we come out of the rebuild. I believe Cooley is the dog, and I'm out
of space. They must have a number of characters.
And then we'll go to John's second super chat. Think it's time to get a new jersey since my most recent is my Kemper Kachina.
Oh.
Partly want Cooley, partly want Donor, partly want Guns. IDK who to get, though? John,
good problems.
Danielle, can we put a poll in the chat?
Yes.
Which jersey should John get? Cooley, Doan, or Guenther?
That is a brilliant.
But John, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And I agree. I think there were a lot of good things.
There were, and it started up. We didn't get into the negatives, and sometimes in an 8-5 game, it's hard to break down the negatives, the turnovers, the inability to defend, the play in the neutral zone, those kind of things. And John, just stick with us because there are days when we get really into the weeds and break down plays and break down who did what. But at 8-5. It was kind of hard to do today. So I'm glad you're here, John. We talk Coyotes lots. 5 days a week?
5 days a week.
5 days a week. Talk Coyotes content. And not always about the arena. So I'm glad John's here.
And then we have a super chat from Roaring Fork who said, did Bjugstad have a soccer ball in his favorite things basket? That was one of the most blatant kicking goals. He was even laughing. It was really funny.
It was bad.
Easily got called off. That was one that we didn't need to do a review. to see. But the favorite things basket that Orangfork is referring to is there was an auction. All the Coyotes players put together a basket of their favorite things and auctioned them off for charity. And I don't think I ever read this on the show, or maybe I did.
The Connor
did I read it on the show?
You did not.
Okay, Connor Ingram, who is worth the follow on Twitter if you're on there at CBIngram1. Last week he tweeted, Yotes are doing a favorite things basket raffle, and the cashier at Target just told me my son is going to have a great birthday. So that's where I'm at today.
So I wonder who's getting on the
Somebody please tell me what was in Connor Ingram's basket.
Did you see John Whitaker is also an aspiring journalist?
Wow.
John, let us know if you're going to school now, because we have a lot of ASU grads. We have a U of A grad from the journalism school down at U of A.
We have an ASU teacher.
Yes.
We have a couple of ASU teachers
in the studio.
Yeah.
Right now we have an ASU teacher.
Yes.
The magic behind the Mac is an ASU journalism teacher. So let us know, and good luck.
By the way, Chad said, is Leah's hair on a string or flapping in the wind? Oddly distracting. We have a fan going because there's no AC in the building on weekends. So we have a fan. The breeze is lovely, and it's giving this natural. I feel like I'm on
It's a spring day.
Yeah,
it's a spring. It's where Easter's upon us. It's a nice, beautiful spring day, and we have somebody else we got to give our flowers to.
Yes.
To
behind the scenes.
You've been there. Video coach Hunter Cherni, and I'll say it. I'm always jealous. And I always want to be right. And so when those goals get challenged, I always get up on my feet. Always get on my feet so I get a really close look and decide if I would have called that one. That was a tough call. And I texted Hunter after the game, said that was a gutsy call, good job. And he said, yeah, I was a little worried we weren't going to get that one. Hunter's having an outstanding record this season. I'm sure Dave Griffiths, the travel guy, had some input because he does tell you what he thinks anyway. We just don't listen. But Hunter, really, really good call. And it changed the complexity of the game for a while. And it really made a difference. Instead of 4-2, it ended up being 3-3 because of Hunter Cherni making that call. So hats off to him, because that's a tough job.
Gave us a really funny moment to Chris Kreider. It would have been his 300th goal.
Yes.
It got called back. He threw the puck
back on the ice.
Hilarious. Good for Chris Kreider, though. Gets it later in the game. So at least he still got it, Chris Kreider. But that was a really, really funny moment.
This is not... Did Owen Wilson, is that true?
Owen Wilson, anyone mention how the Yotes have 19 goals in the games Doan has been up?
God, now I got to do the math.
There is some weird things going on with the Doan being up
8
thing.
Plus 6. No, that's not true.
It's not true?
8. How many did they get today?
5.
5 is 5, 11, and 8 is 19.
Wow. Just like Doan scored on the 19th shot of the game.
But he didn't, though. But we said it. He didn't?
Why?
Maccelli's goal was on the 19th. It wasn't Doan's.
On the Tuesday game?
Yeah. It was.
But it's more fun to say.
Well,
this one's true.
This one's true. The other one, we can just say it over and over.
We'll just say it.
You know what? And here's, again, it just goes back to, this team's got 8 games left. What are you watching? You're watching Cooley, Guenther, Doan.
Yep.
That's what you're watching. And you look at the back end, you've got 6 defensemen that aren't signed for a season from now. Not one of those defensemen is signed next year. That's a concern.
Yeah.
You look at up front, you still got Schmaltz and Keller under contract. You've got Crouse under contract. And if you can keep those guys happy and around with these young guys coming up, the future, and I hate to keep saying this, but the future is bright here. We haven't even talked about Connor Geekie. Connor Geekie could make this lineup next year.
Connor Geekie has like 100 points in the WHL.
He can make
That's
this
not
lineup.
even hyperbole.
No, it's not. He can make this
points.
team. And so you look at the offensive upside and what this team can be in the next year and the year after and the year after. It's really exciting. And so I agree on the jersey. What do you do?
Well, right now it's actually a landslide.
Is it a landslide?
Doan 61% of the vote. Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Doan
Arizona
Coyote jersey.
Yeah, Doan 91.
There you go. You might have your answer, John. But a couple other flowers I want to give out tonight. First, I can't believe you haven't brought him up, Nick Bjugstad.
Boogie. Boogie.
I mean, we talked about his soccer goal, but
his soccer goal, but again, he's getting to the net. Yeah. And I'm a little disappointed because I have the MGM Sportsbook app. I might have taken 3 shots, which is 2.5 over, and he didn't get that.
Yeah, the kicked one didn't count.
The kicked one didn't count as a shot on goal, unfortunately for me. And BetMGM, I'll have to make a call after this. but Boogie's doing the thing he's got to do. He's got to get to the net. And his job on that line is to help create space for those guys, and he has to do that by getting to the net. So to get Keller and Schmaltz space, he's got to drive the net. He's got to do the dirty work. It doesn't always end up on the score sheet. Today's lucky enough to do that. It was a heck of a shot on that rush play. I thought he played another good game. Bjugstad, and I know I talk about him a lot because he's from Minnesota, but
what?
But he does those little things right. We talk about Josh Doan doing it right in his 3rd NHL game. Well, Bjugstad does the right thing in a lot more games than that. Like his pace maybe not what Josh Doan can play at now, but he plays the right side of the puck. He always makes the right play defensively. He chips and chases. I'm happy that he's a part of this team and he didn't leave at the trade deadline this year, because that's the kind of player you want when you have Doan, Guenther, and Cooley in your locker room. You want Nick Bjugstad in the locker room to help teach these guys not only how to play the right way, but to do it with a really good attitude and with a smile on your face. And you see that out of Nick Bjugstad when he hits on the ice. And he's a guy you want to follow in the footsteps of not just on the ice, but off the ice, in the community, in the locker room.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really glad Nick Bjugstad is a part of this team right now.
He scored his 21st of the season, has 12 points in his last 12 games, and is on a 6-game point streak. So there you go, Nick Bjugstad. John with a super chat. Don't it is. His dad was my first favorite player, so it works. I'm in school to become a mechanic right now, so when I'm done, I want to go to school online at U of A. Bear down.
Bear down. My son graduated U of A.
Bear down,
Leah
John.
Graduated U of A. Danielle, not so much.
Yeah, it's okay. Logan Cooley. I'm just moving on from the ASU talk. Yeah. Logan Cooley, his 17th of the season. We're wearing the Logan Cooley shirts. We talked about it on yesterday's show. Can he hit 20? It's extremely within his sights. Logan Cooley has 8 goals in the month of March. Yeah. He is hit his stride. He's heating up. And I think 20 is definitely within his sights. He has another 2-point night tonight. So I just want to give a shout out to Logan Cooley as well.
Yeah, not only does he get the goal, but he's another kid. When you look at his pace of play and his speed through the blue lines, his ability to get up to speed in the neutral zone, and that bodes well for the future. Again, we talk about his ability to be defenseman wide with that speed. He gets to the net for a kid that's just still learning and finding his way in the National Hockey League. There's still those glimpses where you see him and you go, wow, like this kid can play. I think as he grows and gets more confident and gets bigger and stronger, I think you're going to see that kind of play more often from Logan Cooley. And to see what he's doing with Dylan Guenther right now and that camaraderie and friendship and chemistry they have, I could see that being a pair. We won't say a complete line because they'll rotate wingers through over the next decade, but those two could play together for the next 10 years. And I could see that, that's Marchand and Bergeron. That's the way I'm looking at it, like a line with those two that they can play together. And when you play together year after year after year, you can be one of those premier lines in the National Hockey League. And I don't see any reason why Cooley and Guenther can't be 2/3 of one of the best lines in the league in the years to come.
David mentions that the Ottawa Senators have taken a 3-2 lead on the Winnipeg Jets in the 3rd period. Huge. That's with 59 seconds to go. We will keep our eye on that one. Looks like the Canadiens are going to lose, but the Blue Jackets have tied it with the Penguins. It's 3-3 with just under 6 minutes to go. So with the Coyotes losing tonight, the Sens potentially getting it done. And
they would jump to
even
a 3-point
if Columbus
lead,
just gets this to overtime, like it could be a good night for the tank. We haven't really been talking a lot about the tank this week because there's been way more things to focus on. But could be a good night overall, especially creating that space with the Sens. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like the Canadiens are gonna get it done, but good night.
So they're passed by the Ottawa Senators and Canadiens already. I know it's only a 1-point lead over the Canadiens right now, but you look at Columbus, that's a ways. Like, that's a lot of losing.
At this point, I'm just stay behind Ottawa and Montreal.
That big game was that Tuesday where they win. But they had to. Cooley gets the hat trick.
No. Doan. That was Doan's
That was
first
Doan's
game.
night?
Yeah.
I can't keep him straight. It was this week. It was approaching midnight. But Columbus,
6:36 p.m.
If they can get 2 points out of this, it's 7 points with 8 to go. That's going to be tough.
But for me, it's Ottawa, Montreal. Those are the ones that we really need to keep our eye on.
So they 5th. Should we say 5th to last?
5th to last that's the aim right now.
After being in a playoff spot through over half of the season and then finishing 5th to last. Buddy, that's hard. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's what a 14-game losing streak will do for you. But so we're going to shoot for 5th and then win the ping pong ball. And then Macklin Celebrini, you saw the goal
Oh my
that he
God.
assisted on today at BU.
Yeah, BU won against the Golden Gophers today in the tournament.
What a pass by Macklin
Make sure
Celebrini.
you're watching the tournament, by the way. Good stuff.
So Macklin Celebrini, can you imagine that? Doan, Guenther,
No, I
Cooley,
can't.
Celebrini.
I can't.
I know.
I don't even allow myself to go there.
I'm going to.
Okay. Let's take a look at the Coyotes' upcoming schedule. Just 2 more games on this homestand. 3 days off here. That's a nice little break for this team without travel. And then Rick Tocchet, Carnegie Ireland, and the Vancouver Canucks come to town. And then the defending Stanley Cup champs, the Vegas Golden Knights, come to town at the end of the week to round out the big homestand, the last homestand of the season.
I mean, you're looking at those teams. You're looking at, you talk about Nashville coming in 16-0-2, coming in, taking the loss. The Rangers were the number 1 team coming in to today in the National Hockey League, and Vancouver's right there. I mean, they're leading the Pacific half from wire to wire. That's going to be a tough game. But one thing you can enjoy before then, can I say it?
Yes, you can say it.
We had the opportunity.
Now that it's done.
it's actually in the bank already. So we stay tuned to the PHNX
Podcast
feed. Just podcast only, because we did an audio only with Rick Tocchet that we just recorded that will be out on Tuesday morning.
Yes, Tuesday.
It will be out on Tuesday at some time. And I tell you what, it was Craig and I sat down with Rick Tocchet, and it's fun. And Rick Tocchet talked about not only Vancouver and what to expect in that game, but what it's like to coach in Vancouver versus coaching here. What did he think about should a team have a captain? Because we talked about it. I asked him. Well, I also asked him, because I knew the Rempire State Building was coming, and Rempire State Building did not play today. The Rempe and Tempe did not play. But I did ask him what his thoughts were about fighting, specifically staged fighting. And you'd be interested to hear what Rick Tocchet has to say about that. And so tune in. He also talked Keith Tkachuk, Shane Doan, all kinds of stuff. It's one of those can't miss audio episodes out on Tuesday with Rick Tocchet just before they play Vancouver.
Really looking forward to that. Make sure you subscribe to PHNX Coyotes on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Do not miss it. It's audio only. It will not be a video live show on the PHNX Sports YouTube. But make sure you're still subscribed to PHNX Sports on YouTube, because there's a lot of extra content on there. I keep saying, check out all the Doan videos. I'm still riding the high, honestly, of Doan Week, and the Coyotes put out a great video on their Twitter yesterday that kind of takes you through that full day, Tuesday from the morning skate to the post game. Really good job by the Coyotes production team for that one. So check that out if you want to get in on the hype of that one, because for me, I'm still, I think overall, Petey, like if we can look at the 3 games in this week, like Monday to today, that was a really great week for this team.
It was a good week, and they played good hockey, and they play, again, it's when they play fast and get on their skates and get after pucks. And I thought they did that in all 3 of these games. But today they just fell a little short against the best team in the league. That's all.
It's fine. And the Senators win officially. So LFG. Let's take a look at the punch card to round things out. We got 8 games to go. You never thought you would see it. So
it is amazing to be in that
Connects
last
5 row. On the X's right there.
It is the one thing this punch card does. It gives me hope that the season's almost over. Like when we're in that first week in October, I swear, and maybe it's just an age thing, that I think I'm not going to make it through. That I think 82 is just too many. And now that we're at 75, all I do is turn to the baseball guys. Jesse
oh my
and Derek.
God, 160 to go.
I go to Derek and Jesse, and I said that yesterday. I said, well, we guys only have 160 to go. And I thought they were going to shoot me. Like, it's bad. Like, do you know how bad it is to think you have 160 games left? I couldn't.
That's
2 seasons of hockey. Buddy, there's no way. So this is it. 8 to go. 8 to go. 8 to go, and we can start talking about the draft. We can start rookie camp, development camp, training camp, and game 1. And we can hope for that we're talking playoffs again next January. Let's hope.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're almost there, guys. We almost made it through 3 years of a rebuild at PHNX.
Woo!
Almost.
Well, like a rebuild, building your finances takes time.
Wow.
How about that?
That was really good.
Make sure
that's late Saturday afternoon vibe.
Make sure you're doing that with Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. You can open a checking account. You can open a savings account. If you're looking for a mortgage, they can help you. If you're looking for a loan, a credit card, investments, they have got you. And we know that Craig banks there. We know Craig's bougie. So if it's good enough for Craig, it's probably too good for you. But I highly recommend banking with Desert Financial Credit Union, because right now, when you open a free checking account online, you get $200 in bonuses. Who wouldn't want an extra $200 just for opening a free checking account? So get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200.
And now with baseball season here that we just talked about, now is the best time to get the Game Time ticketing app. Game Time is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first
True
pitch.
story. With
killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and the lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets. And we talked about the last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off buying last minutes for sports, concerts, comedies, theaters, any event you can think of. They're selling the tickets on Game Time. And trust me, I know, again, Blink 182, buddy.
Hamilton.
Yeah. Who didn't? Oh, yeah, Hamilton. At the, what do you call it?
Gamage.
Gamage. I've never gone to a musical like Gamage, but you can go to sports events. And they have flash deals, which means if you've got your eye on an area, and that's what happened to me at Blink 182. I was waiting for this one area. All of a sudden, a flash deal came up. Tickets went cheaper. I nailed the flash price.
So
they have all
good.
kinds of cool things on the app. You have to check out zone deals, all-in pricing, seat views, lowest price guarantee, and Game Time ticket coverage. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
All right, Petey, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I think this was a really positive matinee for the Arizona Coyotes. I think that you saw the young players play well against an incredibly good team. And I think you saw Keller and Schmaltz in the offensive zone, but do what they do. And they were able to add some offense again. This was a good game for the Coyotes. They gave up a lot of goals.
It was honestly, this was a 6-5 game.
Yeah, because there's two empty netters. There's two empty netters. You give up 6, and of course there's the turnovers between the blue lines and all those things. But overall, I'm going to say this was a positive step forward for some of the young players, and we've got 8 games to go. Let's get through it.
Absolutely. Can't believe we're here in the final stretch of games, but there's a lot to be excited about. Ethan said, save some good money with Game Time for the Doan debut. Thanks, guys. He used code PHNX. He told us.
He did.
So there's a real person with a real experience on Game Time. We've also used it. Anywho, what a stretch. What a week it's been. Man, oh man, it's exciting. You know, I think when we were looking ahead at the final stretch of games, we were thinking, oh my God, what is there going to be? This Doan thing has really injected energy. Guenther, Cooley. Again, if you missed our show yesterday, Friday, we talked a lot about that trio, about the young guns. So if you watch that, if you want to kind of feel some excitement about the Coyotes' future. And we will be off tomorrow, but we'll be live again Monday to go over some more of Craig's mailbag questions, going a little bit in depth.
You already know what we're doing on Monday?
Someone has to.
I clearly have no idea.
Someone has to know what's going on here.
I don't. And it's funny because people might think that's a joke and just a bit.
Not a bit.
Not a bit.
Like, he just started reading the rundowns recently.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. And and I know they laugh about it. I don't think they're thrilled about that. That I don't because I don't really know what they're about. But I still.
You bring a lot to the show, Petey, so it's okay.
And that's Monday.
Monday. Oh, my goodness. Anywho, lots to look forward to. So make sure you're subscribed to the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Coyotes wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you're following us on Twitter at @SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Abracadanielle, at PHNX_Coyotes. Check out Danielle's amazing photos on that feed. They've just been, honestly, they're like better and better.
Our feed?
Yes.
I don't know that. On our Twitter feed?
Are we surprised?
Well, I don't know. Like, I don't, we're on a show. I didn't look at Twitter yet.
They were posted during the game.
Well, again, I was watching the game. Sorry, Danielle. I'm sure they're great.
We'll look after the game now.
We'll look after the game. Danielle takes great photos.
Goodness.
We're so happy to have her at the games actually taken.
Yeah.
Somebody, I will say, before we go, because she was about 5 seconds away from getting off the air. Somebody said that they're happy that they didn't have to watch The Magician today. That was early. It was one of the first comments on the entire show.
Oh, it was Wildly Coyote.
Yeah. Wildly. Right away. Well, at least we don't have to watch The Magician
He's
today.
a little offended. He texted me.
He texted me during the show.
He's a little offended.
Little offended by that comment. Wait, little comment? Because through all the horrific magic, it means that the Coyotes won a home game. So if you got to find that silver lining, it means the Coyotes won.
Oh boy, oh boy. All right. Well, this has been fun, everybody. You still have your Saturday night ahead. So enjoy. If you're celebrating Easter tomorrow, happy Easter. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. And we will see you all on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.